The speaker is a 30-year-old Korean woman. Let's call her Ji-eun, who met a terrifying event while taking an elevator in her apartment.
I never take elevators anymore. Not after what happened in my old apartment. It was a cheap place, one of those old high-rise buildings in No-one, the kind with dimly lit hallways, peeling wallpaper, and an elevator that creaked every time it moved. But the rent was cheap, and I was broke. I didn't have the luxury of being picky. The first time I noticed something was wrong, I thought it was my imagination. I was coming home late from work, half asleep, and I got into the elevator like usual. Pressed 11 for my floor. The doors started to close, but right before they shut completely, they slid open again. No one was outside. I figured maybe someone on another floor had pressed the button, so I waited. A few seconds passed. The doors started closing again, and then they opened. Again. This time, I felt it. That cold, crawling sensation at the back of my neck, like someone was standing behind me. I turned around so fast I almost tripped. But there was nothing, just the empty elevator. I should have gotten out, but instead, like an idiot, I reached out and pressed the close door button. The moment I did, the lights flickered, just for a second, just long enough for me to see it. A reflection in the elevator doors, something standing right behind me. It was blurry, like a smudge on the metal, but I could make out the shape. A tall figure, head tilted at an unnatural angle. No face, just a dark, hollow space where a face should be. I spun around, nothing. But when I looked back at the doors, the reflection was still there, standing closer. The lights flickered again, and this time, the elevator dropped. It only fell for a second before stopping with a violent jolt, but that was enough. Enough for the lights to go completely out. Enough for me to hear it. Breathing. Shallow, raspy breathing, right next to my ear. I slammed my fist against the emergency button, over and over. The elevator didn't move. My phone had no signal. I was trapped. And then, the breathing stopped. I held my breath, listening. Silence. And then, in the darkness, I heard a voice. Going up. It was my voice, but it didn't come from me. I don't know how long I stood there, paralyzed. Then, out of nowhere, the elevator started moving again. The lights flickered back on. The doors opened. I ran. I don't even remember unlocking my apartment door. I just remember slamming it shut behind me and not sleeping at all that night. The next morning, I convinced myself it had been a stress-induced hallucination. But when I left for work, I saw it, the elevator panel. All the buttons had been pressed. Every single floor, from B2 to 21. But the strangest part, the emergency button was the only one that wasn't lit. I moved out 2 weeks later, but sometimes, when I pass by elevators in other buildings, I swear, just before the doors close, I see it again. That reflection, standing behind someone else.